Hey VC, how you doing? This is Christian down here in Santiago, Chile. This is a video I decided to do some time ago after watching our YouTube guys talking about things that for some reason back then passed us by and we never got the chance to listen to them, and we just discovered bands, sounds, albums, records, whatever artists just a few years ago, or when we started being a member of the BC. So as the title of the video says, this is how did I miss these guys back then. I have my notes. I'm going to try to talk and show you some stuff, some albums and some bands from back then, from the mid 80s up to late 80s, of bands and artists and records that I kind of knew back then, just remember the name of the band, and maybe read a small article on a magazine, or somebody told me something about some kind of bands that with recent years and with the internet and YouTube and all that stuff, and streaming and downloading, you have, at least I have been able to listen to those bands and add to the collection some of the things I'm going to show. These are some not big names, and a couple maybe are rather unknown. Most of them are from the are European bands. A couple are from the States. A couple of names are, well, I think, well known in this second or third tier of bands. So the first band I'm going to talk to you about is one that one with less cool names, and if you want to put a name to if you're forming a band and you have a brainstorm and okay, what kind of name we're going to put to this band, and I don't know why they came up with this name, because it's kind of okay. If that's all you have, let's go with that. And it's 220 volts. This is my CD I have. Sorry about the glare. This is music on CD reissue. Sorry about the glare. It's really sunny here. Okay, well, you get the idea. And let's see if I can take it out from the jewel case. There it goes. I think it replicates the vinyl release from back then. What do we have here? 8 tracks. I have my notes. This is an album from 1984. The title of the album is Power Games, and it's the second album from this band. This is a Swedish band, and it was originally released on February 1984 under the CBS label. So there you can see that here it has the CBS now is Columbia Epic Records. So what do we have here? This is a kind of a very interesting band, because on this earlier recordings, this is they have a more European sound of rock music, and it's considered one of the key members or the fundamental settings in the discography of the band. And it's a kind of a hidden gem in this period in Swedish rock music, because back then in the early 80s, from 1980 to 1984, most of the stuff that we were listening was coming, of course, from the States and from the UK, and this was the last period of the new wave of British heavy metal. So it was starting to appear more bands on the hard rock side of music. And this is kind of a unique band because it's they compete with they have not compete they have another band that was also starting in this era that it was Europe. They had their first release in '83, their second release in '84, and of course their big album in 1986. And they have a more melodic sound in the approach to the music. Um, the record flows between big heavy riffs, big German riffs, and a more melodic sound. Of course, you can tell these guys were kind of listening to what was sounding on that period in the States, and also kind of influenced by very what Def Leppard was trying to do. They have, of course, that Nordic sound, that Nordic atmosphere that you can hear in those early sound of other bands from that era, with a very cool sound, and in the also in their guitar, the approach of the two guitar players. You can see here we have Drevin and Carlson. They create great memorable melodies, and those are clean and emotive sounds. And of course, you have a really good singer in Joachim Lutholm. Sorry if I'm butchering that name. That adds an epic sound to the songs. A couple of songs that I would like to highlight in these releases is Firefall, and that's one of the songs that resonated a lot with me, because it's like it has the classic sound of the record, that is very potent and hymn, and it's with two very fast and rapid guitar sound that adds and more edge and more kind of a little bit of new wave of British heavy metal spirit to the song. Another one that I like very much, it was Iron Fighter and Over the Top. Two short songs, straight to the point. Those songs come, deliver the goods, and they go out without leaving you with that feeling of sensation that it's way too long, but two great songs. And then another couple I want to find, yes, it's Night Without an End and Child or Beast, when they show a little bit more obscure face of the band, not so happy, not so poppy, not so commercial, if you want to if you want to add that term to the sci-fi music, but a little bit more obscure and complex. So that's a band that back then I had no idea what they sound like. I think I've somewhere later I get noticed about the band name, and I thought it's kind of okay, but let's see what it's all about. And a couple of years ago, I received this awesome CD as a VCLT from our good friend Bedford Clark of Vision, and it's a really great one. So this is the first band I'm going to talk to you about. Hope you like it, what you hear, and make you want to investigate and maybe discover one of those bands from that era in Swedish hard rock and heavy music that it's kind of left behind because of the big markets that it was back then. Of course, Germany, England, the UK, and of course the States. But please don't sleep over this era of Swedish heavy metal music that is really cool. And I will try to do another video in a couple of more days talking about another band, and this is from another country in Europe. Yes, and then let's see what I came up with more of this kind of obscure, lesser known bands to maybe discover and give a listen, and maybe to the collection. So without further ado, this is Cristian down here in Santiago, Chile. Say goodbye till next time. Bye bye.